Hi, second graders. Are you ready to paint an apple? Let's go. Okay, second graders, so to paint this apple, you are going to need a few supplies. You need a white piece of paper, piece of art paper. Construction paper works best, but you can do it on regular printer paper if that's all you have. And then you're going to need some paint brushes. So mine look like this, but if yours looks different, that's fine too. Any paintbrush will work. I have 2 different sizes, but you don't need 2 different sizes. If you only have one, that's perfect. And I have my paint. So the colors I have are red, green, and brown. Look at that red, it's splattered a little bit. That's okay. These are the colors that I need. You can do it if you just have red and brown. The green's kind of an extra touch. So if you have green paint, you can use it. I used paint from school, so my bottles probably look different than what you might have at home. But you could also use watercolors. So if you have watercolors, you can paint an apple using the watercolors. And of course, I have my water to dip my brush in. I also gave myself some paper towels so I can wipe off my brush as I go. So to be a master artist, there's a few things you have to know. One thing I like to do when I paint is I play some music. So I like to put on something that's relaxing, like classical music, quiet, calm music. So that's what I'm gonna play today. And the first thing I need to do is take my brush. Oh, I rolled up my sleeves because you wanna make sure you're not wearing any clothes that you don't wanna get paint on. So make sure before you start, you're wearing something that you don't care if you get paint on it, or if you're at home and you have an apron or something you can wear over, you can do that too. So I'm gonna carefully pick up my brush. I'm going to get a little water on it. And remember, if I'm going a little too quickly, you can always pause the video. I'm gonna get some water on my brush. And the first color I need is red. So I'm going to get some red paint. And this is the key. Master artists start with a little paint because they can always add more. And I don't need a lot of water, that's the other thing. Actually, Miss Johnson put a little too much water, so I'm going to take my paint and brush it a little bit on the paper plate. I'm gonna make a red apple, but if you wanna paint a green apple, you can do that too. So I'm gonna make the outline of my apple. I always start with the outline first, and I'm gonna do a big stroke. And I make a big apple. I'm gonna make it pretty much my whole paper. But apples come in all different sizes, right? Some are smaller than others. So if you wanna make yours smaller, you can because it's your artwork. So now that I have my outline, I'm gonna go back in and fill in the middle part. And I'm not rushing it, I'm taking my time. Master artists take their time and they do long brush strokes with their brush. They're very careful with their brush. They don't go like this because they don't want to splatter paint everywhere. They're careful and gentle and soft. You don't need to press down hard. And you don't need a lot of paint. Remember, you can always add more. Kind of looks like a heart in the middle, huh? I like painting. I think it's very relaxing. You'll have to tell me if you like painting too. Okay. Looking pretty good, huh? So I'm gonna go around and just get the edges again. But see, it doesn't have to be perfect. See how my edges aren't perfect lines? Some of the paint's kind of splattered on the edges. I kind of like how that looks, so I'm leaving it like that. All right, now that I have my apple part done, I'm going to dip in the water. And see how I'm just putting my brush on the edge like that so I'm not splattering it around. I'm going to carefully put my hand underneath and wipe it on my paper towel. I like this playlist of songs because they have songs that we know, instrumental, which means there's no words. All right, now I'm gonna get a little bit more water. Actually, I think I'm gonna switch to my smaller brush. I'm gonna use my smaller brush for this part. If you have one brush, it's fine. Just make sure you clean it pretty good so that all the red's off and you can get a new color. And remember, we don't need a lot of water for this apple. If we want it to come out really rich looking like that, we use more paint, less water. If you want it to look more like a watercolor, then you'd use less paint, more water. All right, I'm going to get my green and I'm going to do the leaf. This part's extra, so if you don't have green, it's fine. And I'm gonna make a leaf shape. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Kind of depends how your brush is shaped too. Now I'm going to dip in my water again. Make sure to clean my brush off good on my paper towel. And now I'm gonna get my brown. And I'm gonna do my stem. So my stem is just this long line right here. And see, it mixed with my green a little bit, but that's okay. That's the amazing thing about art. It doesn't have to be perfect, and there's no mistakes in art, right? And there is my apple. So I can set this aside to dry, put it in a safe place where it can dry, and then master artists always clean up their space very carefully and very neatly. So you're going to take whatever you have your paint on. I like using a plate so I can put everything on the plate. So I put my brushes on the plate. I'm gonna get my paper towel and put that on the plate, and I'm going to carefully carry my water. In fact, I'm probably gonna do it in 2 steps so I don't spill. So I'm going to get up and move this to the sink where I can rinse everything off nicely and neatly to put it away for my next art project. And then I'm carefully going to get my water and put that in the sink very carefully. All right, master artists, I hope you enjoyed painting your apple with me, and I can't wait to see it on Seesaw. Have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.